Hey, good evening, everybody. How you doing? Michael Hollingsworth here, founder of Hollingsworth Soul, founder of Harlem Hall of Fame. I came on tonight because I was reached out by Instagram. Instagram wants to take me offline for Hollingsworth Soul because some people have complaints about what I'm doing, explaining how black people exist, explaining how Harlem exists, explaining that how we've been here. I've had no malice when I, started Harlem Hall of Fame. The fact of the matter is, Harlem has always been a trend-setting place. I'm fortunate to be born and raised in Harlem. I'm fortunate to be a part of Harlem. I'm fortunate to be able to have pages in my book about where I come from in Harlem. I love Harlem. I don't know no one that loves Harlem more than me. But Instagram wants to take me down because there's complaints about my content. I just want to say that I mean no harm and no disrespect to anyone that I posted. The fact of the matter is, there are certain people that want to say that black people don't exist and never existed in Harlem, right? History shows that at one point, Harlem was full of Caucasians, and then, within the 20s and the 40s, black people migrated from the South, wherever they migrated from, and they came to Harlem, and the Caucasians left in the 20s and the 30s and even in the 40s. Harlem has been always a staple for black Americans, or for black people, period. And again, I apologize to anyone I offended by posting your image. And what baffles me is, you guys have no clue. Those that complain about what it is that Harlem Hall of Fame is doing and does, you have no clue that there are those that's trying to erase us from history, right? Harlem Hall of Fame images is so beautiful, man, because there's so many people who's not here. There's so many people that don't look the way they once looked, or don't have what they once have, and Harlem Hall of Fame provides this memory for us, right? Because none of us look the way we shit. I once had a motherfucking hairline. I no longer have one, right? So, what I'm saying? I was once, 120 pounds. I'm no longer 120 pounds, right? So, we all look different, and we all, have evolved in life. And again, for those who feel slighted about Harlem Hall of Fame, which baffles me, I have no clue. I don't talk about who framed Roger Rabbit. I don't talk about, who shot J.R. Ewing. I don't talk about who made money. That's not, Harlem Hall of Fame is about history and fashion. It's really about fashion, right? That's why I do the flower giving. I'm hurt. I'm hurt that something positive is problematic to those who have an issue with it. If someone can let me know what it is that I've done wrong by creating Harlem Hall of Fame, I will seek to correct it, right? I'm not taking anything personal, right? I'm doing this from the heart. I'm not receiving any money from this. I started this December 6, 2024. I started posting twice a day. I've not missed a post since December 6, 2024, right? I had my own agenda in the commission of starting this, and it just took off. It took off and became its own anomaly. I find it so bizarre how there's always 1% or 2% or even 0.5% of people that see this thing very differently. You know, if no one remembers us, who's going to remember us? I got to ask you that. You know, people say, oh, you glorify drug dealers. Actually, I don't. I don't, right? I talk about those who were jet setters, those who were creators, those who were innovators, who didn't get that particular flower, right? Because all of us, in one way or another, we all regurgitate things that we've heard, things that we act out on. Most of us are just regurgitators, period. I seek not to be one of those. I seek to speak what I believe and what I know, and you know, whatever information that I seek to like learn and master, but I seek not to be a actual regurgitator. So again, for those who Harlem Hall of Fame has offended, to those who Hollingsworth Soul has offended, we sincerely apologize to you, because that's not our goal. That's not our nature. You know, we just want to acknowledge what Harlem once was, and how much I had fun growing up as a kid. Any trouble, anything that happened wrong to me, that was just me being hard-headed, right? Because Big Mama, the community took care of you. No matter if you had both parents or one parent. I got my ass whooped in the streets, and when I got home, I got my ass whooped, right? I come from a community, and everybody got the same story. Every block had a community, right? From Lenox Avenue, all the way from First Avenue all the way up to Broadway, if you want to say that, right? But you know, where Harlem is zoned, right? If you want to, you know, being that I talk Harlem all day long, from Lenox Avenue to 10th Street to 159th Street, right, in Edgecombe, right, which is, you know, Amsterdam, which is Edgecombe, actually, you know, legally, is Harlem. We all had communities. And just tell me what it is that I've done wrong. Because I started out with 2,000 images, like I said. You know, I got the images from Alex, right? So I actually owned the images that I had. And then images started pouring in. People started sending Harlem Hall of Fame images, and I love it. And I do my best to be clean about putting up images and just showing love. So how is it that someone has a problem with what's going on with Harlem Hall of Fame? I mean, I'm not depicting who killed who hurt who sodomized who did this and the third. Everything is positive on this note. I mean, I don't believe I know of anybody trying to stop other platforms that's only talking about who hurt somebody. You know what I mean? I'm curious. I'm just curious. You know what I mean? I'm hurt because I had to like challenge Instagram and Facebook because they was trying to black me out, and I'm like, damn. Like, what's really good? So I'm asking, you know, the followers, I'm asking the audience, I'm asking the family, right? Harlem Hall of Fame family, give me your opinion on what it is that Harlem Hall of Fame is doing wrong. What is it that you don't like? Because before I pass judgment, before I make a decision, if I want to shut this down or not, I'm hoping I can get incentive from the family to continue this, right? I've gone very far with this. I mean, this is almost a year now. This is technically 10 months, and I've not missed a day of posting. That's some loyalty where a person ain't getting paid for this, right? I actually enjoy doing this. I love doing this. It makes me feel good. I get so many people that have called me crying, like, yo, thank you so much. I never thought I would see my mother, my brother, my sister, my aunt, my son, my cousin, my daughter. I never thought I would see an image of them on TV or on a video, and you know that gives me an incentive to keep on striving and keep on doing what I'm doing, right? You know, the fact that, you know, the things that when we were kids, the buildings and the stores and the restaurants and the playgrounds that was once here is no longer here. And if someone don't leave a footprint, it'll be forgotten. It'll be forgotten. So do you guys who have complaints about Harlem Hall of Fame, do you understand the importance of the definition of what forgotten means? Because the definition of forgotten, gone means gone. Once you've forgotten, you cease to exist. So I choose to put Harlem on my back and keep Harlem alive. I don't live in the 80s. I don't live in the 70s. I don't live in the 90s. Clearly, I'm always seeking to reinvent myself and evolve. And I'm bringing you guys with me, you know, through Harlem Hall of Fame. But it really teared me that people would literally send in complaints to shut me down because I'm doing something that they feel that I shouldn't do. So, you know, if you guys have the power or have a voice, leave some comments, you know, share some notes, because I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. You know, I take the time out of, and I'm a busy man. I have 4 existing businesses. I have more than 4, but I have 4 that's existing that I work on every day. I still take the time out to, you know, post for you guys. I enjoy putting a smile on you guys' face. Darren, what's good, King? All is well, alhamdulillah. What's happening, man? You know, yeah. So, you know, leave some comments. Leave some comments, because I actually got discouraged today. I got discouraged today because I didn't understand the dynamics of people having negative opinions. You know, I didn't understand that. Again, I'm going to be repetitive because I have to be. I don't speak negative about anyone. Not one person. I only put up yesterday images when life was different, because life is definitely different for us minorities, and it's not in our favor. You know what I'm saying? You know, they are literally trying to wipe us out. You know what I'm saying? You know, one way or another. It ain't from the food, it's from the water, it's from the air. One way or another, we all getting up out of here. But this footprint that Harlem Hall of Fame has created will be recorded, and that they can't stop. I mean, they can take me off, right? Social media, but it's out there, and it's been out there. So I don't know, guys. You know, help me out. Tell me what you think. Should I continue Harlem Hall of Fame? Should I fight to keep it open, or should I let it go? I'm not clear. Yeah, I mean, Darren, I totally agree, man. You know, I totally agree. But what do you do when you're doing something positive and people choose to tear you down? It's kind of deflating. When every other platform you look at and you see nothing but negativity. Who shot who killed who, as if we black people are only animals. I mean, is that what you want them to see of us? Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly. You know? So
So what do you think?
that's where I'm at with this, guys. I came live to tell y'all what's going on. So if you don't see Harlem Hall of Fame any longer, it doesn't mean that I gave up and I quit, right? It means that people have did so much complaining that Instagram has chose to take me off, as well as Facebook, right? TikTok doesn't allow my music, most of my music, so it's not really fun to post on TikTok. And somewhat the same of YouTube, right? They kind of block a lot of my content due to the music because I don't own the music. So I was enjoying Instagram, and it's what it is, man. So that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Peace, King. How the brother doing? Good to see you, man. Have a seat.
Hold on. Do your thing. I'm gonna call my phone.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do I continue with Harlem Hall of Fame if they allow me to, or is Harlem Hall of Fame that offensive to people and they don't want to see me? I mean, listen. Again, I'm not being facetious, but I'm not as skinny as I once was, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't have a head full of hair that I once had. I actually think I was more handsome when I had a hairline when I was younger. But how it was isn't how it is, right? But shit, you ask me, I'm still fine. You know what I mean? So if you got a problem with how you once looked and you don't look that way anymore, talk to me. Talk to me. Let me know what's going on, and if I could make things better with Harlem Hall of Fame, if I could make things different with Harlem Hall of Fame, I will do so. Right? I don't take Harlem Hall of Fame personally. I'm gonna address this Pat Porter. I'm gonna say this live. I knew the Porter family. I know the Porter family well. I love Pat Porter. Rich was a friend of mine. He wasn't an acquaintance nor an associate. He was a friend of mine. Pat, I posted a video of Rich playing softball, and I thought that was phenomenal, being that there was nothing but negative images shown of Richard. But at that moment, Pat didn't appreciate it. She asked me to take it down. I took it down. Pat Porter actually reached out to me today, having a difference of opinion. I respect it. I received it. And this is, people have their own mind, they have their mindset. But Harlem Hall of Fame is only here to do positive things for black people. So guys, let me know. Tell me what you think, and I'll see what's up. Love is love. Darren, that comes from you. Love is love. D-Rock.